Welcome to Fairy Tales 1. I'm so glad you're here.
Hello, little dreamers, and welcome back to our cozy storytelling corner. Settle and get comfortable, and let your imagination take flight, because today I have a truly special tale for you. It's a story about quiet places, forgotten sounds, and the most magical garden you could ever imagine. Are you ready? The story I have for you today is called The Girl Who Grew Star Blossoms. Once nestled deep within a vast slumbering valley, there lived a quiet village. It wasn't always quiet, you see. Long, long ago, the valley was a riot of colors, a symphony of sounds. Children's laughter bounced off the mountains, birds sang cheerful melodies, and the gentle strumming of harps drifted from open windows. At night, the sky above sparkled with a million glittering stars like diamonds scattered on dark velvet. But then a soft, invisible blanket began to settle over the valley. It wasn't a bad blanket, not cold or heavy, but it was incredibly quiet. People called it the hush. The hush muted everything. Colors faded to soft pastels, sounds became whispers, and the stars, oh the stars, simply disappeared behind a perpetual gentle haze. Most people in the village had grown up with the hush and didn't even remember the vibrant, noisy days. They spoke softly, moved gently, and rarely looked up at the unchanging sky. But there was a girl named Alara whose heart held a spark of bright curiosity. Alara had a grandmother who remembered the old days. Grandma Willow, with her eyes like twinkling pools and hands that smelled of dried herbs, would tell Alara tales of a sky so full of light it made your heart ache, and of laughter so loud it made your belly jiggle. Alara would listen her own quiet world filling with vibrant imagined colors and boisterous unheard sounds. She longed to see the stars her grandmother spoke of, to hear the joyful noises that had vanished. One drizzly afternoon, while exploring the forgotten patch of garden behind her cottage, Alara found something peculiar. Tucked beneath a drooping fern, half buried in the damp soil, was a seed unlike any she'd ever seen. It wasn't brown and dull, but shimmered with a faint silvery light like a tiny drop of captured starlight. And if she held it very still close to her ear, she thought she could hear a faint, almost imperceptible hum like a distant, happy sigh. Alara's heart fluttered with excitement. A starseed, she whispered, remembering one of her grandmother's whimsical tales. She carefully dug a small hole in her neglected garden, tucked the shimmering seed inside, and covered it gently with soil. Every day she would visit it, hoping, wishing. Nothing happened for a week. Then, too, Alara felt a tiny pang of disappointment, but something in the seed's hum had captivated her. She wouldn't give up. One evening, feeling particularly lonely for the stars, she'd never seen Alara sat beside the patch of earth where the seed lay. She remembered a lullaby her grandmother used to hum, a melody so soft and sweet it felt like a hug. It was a song almost forgotten even by Grandma Willow. Very, very quietly, Alara began to hum the lullaby to the soil. As the last note faded, something extraordinary happened. A tiny, slender shoot poked through the earth, uncurling two delicate silvery leaves. And then, at its very tip, a bud formed. Not a green bud, but a crystalline orb shimmering with the same faint light as the seed. Alara gasped. The next morning, the crystalline bud had opened just a fraction. Inside, a tiny glowing light pulsed, and from it, Alara heard the faintest, most beautiful echo of her grandmother's lullaby. It was like a memory given voice, a sound given light. Star blossoms, Alara whispered, understanding dawning in her heart. These weren't ordinary flowers. They were special. They bloomed not with sunlight and water alone, but with forgotten sounds, with cherished memories, with gentle whispers of joy. From that day on, Alara began her quest. She would visit Grandma Willow not just for stories, but for snippets of laughter from childhood, for the melody of an old dance, for the memory of the clatter of pots and pans from a bustling kitchen. She'd listen to the quiet murmurs of the villagers trying to catch a hint of a happy, thought, a memory of a beloved pet, or a faint, joyful sigh. She learned that even the quietest sounds, the ones held deep in the heart, could be planted. Each time Alara gathered a sound seed, a forgotten rhyme, a whispered secret, a memory of a sunny day, she would gently whisper it to the growing star blossom plant. With each whispered memory, a new crystalline bud would appear, and when it unfurled, it would release a soft glow and a faint echo of the sound or memory it had absorbed. Soon Alara's small garden began to glow. It wasn't a bright, harsh light, but but a soft, warm luminescence that pushed back against the hush in her little corner of the world. The gentle echoes from her star blossoms mingled. A faint giggle, here a soft melody, there the distant ring of a forgotten bell. Other children, drawn by the strange, shimmering light, began to peek over Alara's fence. They had never seen anything like it. "What are they?" a small boy named Finn asked, his eyes wide. Alara smiled her first truly bright smile in a long time. "They're star blossoms," she explained, "and they grow from forgotten happiness." She told them how they worked, how the softest memory could make a bud bloom. Soon the children started bringing their own quiet memories and whispered joys to Alara. A girl remembered the warmth of her puppy's fur, a boy recalled the taste of a special berry pie. Alara carefully whispered each one to the blossoms, and her garden bloomed brighter and brighter. A great village festival was approaching, a day that was meant to be joyous, but everyone knew it would be as quiet and hushed as ever. Alara had a vivid dream, her garden bursting with light, not just soft echoes, but true vibrant sounds bright enough to chase the hush away entirely. She knew what she had to do. The next morning, Alara bravely approached the village elder, a kind man with gentle eyes. "Elder Thistle," she began, her voice a little shaky, but determined, "my star blossoms need a grand chorus of forgotten joy. Will you ask everyone to bring their oldest, happiest memories, their dearest forgotten songs, their softest, most loving whispers, and share them with my garden?" Elder Thistle listened, his expression thoughtful. He had seen the glow from Alara's garden, and though he didn't fully understand, he felt a flicker of hope. He agreed. On the day of the festival, instead of gathering in the quiet town square, the villagers slowly, curiously made their way to Alara's garden. It was already shimmering with hundreds of crystalline buds. Alara stood in the center, her heart pounding. "Friends," she called out, her voice clear and strong, "the hush has held us for too long today. Let's give our hidden joys a voice. Share a memory, hum an old song, whisper a loved one's name. Give it to the star blossoms." At first, there was only silence as the villagers hesitated. Then Grandma Willow stepped forward, her eyes bright. She placed her hand on a blossom, and with a soft, cracked voice began to sing a forgotten folk song from her youth. As her voice flowed over the garden, the bud she touched burst open, releasing a shower of bright golden light, and a clear, strong echo of her song, joined by the faint, forgotten chirping of birds. Inspired, others began. A farmer remembered the roar of laughter from a harvest feast. A mother recalled the sweet smell of fresh-baked bread from her childhood. Each memory, each whispered word of love, each hummed tune was offered to the star blossoms. The garden began to pulse, with light growing brighter and brighter. The echoes grew stronger, clearer. The air filled with a chorus of joyful sounds. Children's giggles, the rustle of leaves. In an imagined breeze, the distant clap of thunder. From a summer storm, the clink of glasses. From a long-ago celebration. The light swelled, pushing outwards like a gentle wave. The hush, which had settled so long and so silently, began to lift. Then it wavered, and then with a final whooshing sigh, it was gone. Suddenly, the valley was filled with brilliant light. The sun shone down, painting the world in colors they hadn't seen in generations. Emerald greens, sapphire blues, fiery reds. And as evening fell for the first time in Alara's life, the sky above sparkled. A million stars, like scattered diamonds, gleamed down from the vast dark velvet, twinkling and dancing just as Grandma Willow had described. Laughter, real booming laughter, erupted from the villagers. Music filled the air. The star blossoms, now fully bloomed, vibrated with a gentle, harmonious hum, casting a warm, constant glow, their echoes mixing with the newfound sounds of the valley. Alara's garden became the heart of the village, a beautiful, glowing testament to the power of shared memories and forgotten joys. The villagers learned that even when things seemed quiet and dim inside every heart, there were countless star blossoms waiting to bloom, needing only a little whisper of happiness to bring light back into the world. And from that day on, Alara, the girl who grew star blossoms, taught everyone that the brightest lights and the most beautiful sounds often come from the deepest, most cherished parts of our own stories. And with that, our adventure ends for today. If this story sparked your imagination and made you think about the hidden joys and forgotten sounds in your own world, a like would be wonderful. And if you want to join us for more magical tales and heartwarming adventures, subscribing ensures you'll never miss our next story. Until then, keep dreaming, keep exploring, and keep believing in the magic all around you. Goodbye for now, little dreamers.
See you again, and do like, share, and subscribe the channel, Fairy Tales!